Graeme, I've been looking forward to this chat because as part of your role at Real Mallorca in La Liga, on the football side, you've done your due diligence, you've done your background, you're as thorough as ever in your work. You went to Leipzig and you spent 2 days at that club that Ralph Rangnick basically built from scratch. Just firstly, just tell us about the 2 days and how it panned out.
Yeah, it's going back a couple of years now, obviously before the pandemic, but I went out there because he is, as the guys have said, as Rebecca said, he's got so much knowledge. They call him, you know, the grandfather of this particular press, and what I wanted to find out from him, and the invitation I got, was based on looking at how he built the club. And he has involvement in every aspect of the club. He understands that you've got to be able to communicate between all your departments, all your football departments, all your infrastructure departments, and work on a plan. So he's a long-term guy. When it was announced that he was possibly going to take over at United as interim manager for 6 months, my first thought was, no, there's got to be more to it than that, because he's not a 6-month guy. And then it turned out he's got this consultancy role to help build the infrastructure, which is going to take years, I think, to get everything aligned at Manchester United. But the things that I found from him were his enthusiasm, his knowledge of every part of the game, he challenges every part, whether it's the medical department, whether it's recruitment, whether it's constantly challenging himself to improve the team. One of the big standouts for me about Leipzig at that time was they took out their under-23 team out of their structure. So they went under 18 to first team, and I was asking him, well, why did you do that? And he said, because we want to reduce the age of our first team squad, which they brought down from 29 to 24 whilst he was there. And they said, therefore, if we don't need a 23-year-old squad, because they're either in the first team or out on loan, or they're coming from our under-18s. So it's connecting all the dots and joining all that together. That doesn't mean that's right for Manchester United, but what does impress me and what excites me, if I was a Manchester United fan, would be the fact that he's got vast knowledge in all of these areas, and he can take things out of his experience and bring those things together. He's got a lot of credibility in that respect. And I think that it's going to be a fascinating first 6 months for him, but even more interesting next 2 years if it all goes according to plan.
What's he like as a man in his company?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's a real people person, high standards, as you could expect, attention to detail. You know, I suppose people would say micromanages. That, you know, he's got his fingers in every single pie and is working, you know, working at a high level in all of those departments. So you've got to be robust enough, whether you're a player or whether you're on the recruitment side, whatever department you're in, you've got to be prepared to go into work Monday, be challenged Monday, do the same again Tuesday, and he's going to be in your ear every time, wanting you to improve what you're doing. And that's his philosophy. That's what has built his success. And his ability to be able to work on the pitch as a coach, but also off the pitch as a technical director or in sort of CEO type character. He's got that ability to manage to ownership and to the players on the grass, and that's really rare.
What are his priorities at Manchester United?
Well, he's got to, you know, the first 6 months, in terms of the football priorities, he's got to get that team up the pitch. As the guys were saying on the armchairs, you know, he's got to get the team performing much more consistently and get the best out of some of those creative players. That's a challenge, because he's got to work out, where does Ronaldo fit in if we're playing a certain pressing style? How does he get the best out of the young players? And that, for me, is the key. Jadon Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, those sorts of players. If it was me, I'd be saying, right, I'm going to back these guys. I'm going to give, because they've got the energy, the enthusiasm, the hunger, the desire to learn every day, and they could be the backbone of this next Manchester United period.
Ronaldo's an interesting one, because he's 36 and pressing may not be top of his list of priorities. Is he a special case? Can you make him a special case and say he's one of the best players that's ever played the game, you're going to do his running for him?
Well, you can. Absolutely. In most games, you can probably get away with having 10 men out of possession. But the reality is, when you're playing against the teams we were talking about before, at this level, you name a player in the Liverpool, Chelsea or Man City team that they carry when they haven't got the ball. You can't name one.
Yeah, brilliant insight, Graeme. Absolutely fascinating. I think we're going to touch on that a little bit later as well. I'm looking forward to Real Mallorca's revolutionary Graeme press in La Liga over the next few years, Rebecca.
It'll be spread around Europe before you know it. Gentlemen, thank you. That was this morning's Boot Room.